Hello, everybody, and welcome to Seattle Bike Blog TV. I am your host, Tom Fukuloro, and today we are going to watch a Seattle Bicycle Program video that was produced by the Department of Engineering, which was the name before it became the Department of Transportation, uh, about the Seattle Bicycle Program in around 1992-93. This video was from the Seattle Municipal Archive, recorded off of a VHS, and it's pretty interesting just to see what the city was like for bicycling back then, and what the Department of Engineering thought was worth noting in this video. It's sort of like a promotional video, but mostly seemed aimed at other cities that were trying to start their own bicycle programs. Um, so in the 1990s, Seattle was a little ahead of the game, and lots of cities were calling up and like, "Hey, how do you have such a great bicycle program?" Which was This all puts things in perspective, doesn't it? Um, so yeah, I have seen bits and pieces of this video, but I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. So why don't we just watch it together, and I will pause and comment throughout, perhaps. Let's go ahead and get it going. All right. It was recorded off of VHS, obviously. Oh yeah. Nice special effects. Wonder if the department had just gotten like brand new like digital video editing software and like a digital camcorder. So it's like it feels very very early 90s, very early like digital video editing. Um, I love this effect, and also the titles are good. This video, the music in this video is very like Seattle Channel, like in between meetings music. Only the true Seattle municipal geeks will get that one.
Seattle has long had a reputation for being one of the best cities in America for bicycling. Thousands of Seattleites bicycle to work each day, and the number is growing. Bicycling is also one of the most popular recreational activities in our city. On any given day, you're likely to encounter commuters, bicycle messengers, people running errands, or cyclists out just enjoying our beautiful surroundings.
So, what made me think of doing this video was this week I wrote a story about the bicycle helmet law that just the King County Board of Health just repealed the bicycle helmet law that was passed originally in 1993. And I remember there was a video from around that time, and I wanted to see sort of how was the Department of Engineering presenting bicycle helmets. And in a news story from that time, a survey had suggested that about 50% of adults were wearing bicycle helmets in the city, which was pretty high back in 1993. Already I can tell in this video that they may have selectively edited who got included based on whether or not they were wearing a helmet, since that was such a big topic at the time.
Seattle is a city surrounded by hills and water. Getting around town inevitably means finding routes around, over, or through those natural barriers, as well as a few obstacles we've contributed to the landscape, like highways, heavily trafficked roads, and railroad tracks. Seattle is...
Where is this? Is this... What are we looking at here? Where?
enjoys its status as a bicycle...
Can we go back?
As well as a few obstacles we've contributed to the landscape, like highways, heavily trafficked roads, and rail...
Oh, okay. So is this 34th Street, North 34th Street, going towards Fremont?
railroad tracks.
Is that Stoneway? Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. You can see the little brown building that's still there. The building that you have to ride right by on the trail and has the cones out and says, please, watch for bikes. So yeah, that makes sense. Those tracks used to go across there.
Seattle enjoys its status as a bicycle-friendly city, and we're proud of the attention our facilities have been getting. Other cities are asking how we do it. We'd like to share with you what we've accomplished.
Okay. Does that look like construction on I-90? I think that's construction on I-90.
The Seattle Engineering Department created the bicycle program in the late 1970s.
Pete Lagerway, longtime bicycle program leader.
Over time, the bicycle program has evolved and now has two main goals. One, building a comprehensive trail system, and two, making all streets safe and accessible for bicyclists. We'll first look at the trail system. A map of the system reveals that you can get just about anywhere you're going on the city's trails
Dude, look at that guy. Oh man, I'd bike with him.
network. For bicyclists, the urban trail system provides a combination of signed bike routes, marked bike lanes, and separated trails. They connect Seattle's neighborhoods to work sites, schools, shopping districts, and parks. Whenever possible, our trails travel along shorelines and abandoned railroad rights-of-way. This not only preserves these natural areas, but creates green belts that provide an escape from concrete, highways, and skyscrapers. Our urban trail system consists of 3 regional trails and neighborhood connector routes. The 3 regional trails are the Burke-Gilman Trail.
This is really funny. I love that they're highlighting Dexter? Is that Dexter that they're highlighting? Looks like it. As they're calling that part of the Burke-Gilman Trail. Maybe they needed to connect the lines, I think. Make it look a little better than it really was.
The I-90 Trail, and the Duwamish Trail.
Again, the I-90 Trail. You see how the line sort of extends like, oh yeah, it totally goes all the way. It goes all the way. They're all connected. It's fine.
Citizen initiative in the 1970s started the process to...
The Duwamish Trail includes what appears to be, I'm guessing that's a section of like 4th Avenue, maybe. Could be 1st Avenue, and then crosses over and ends up on Marginal Way before crossing over the low bridge and then following the trail route. Kind of interesting. They drew it that way.
To build the popular Burke-Gilman Trail on an abandoned railroad right-of-way. Running 12 miles, this 10-foot wide trail winds through some of the most scenic areas in Seattle and is used by more than 1 million people annually. Over 800 people a day use it to commute to work and school. Although bicyclists account for about 70% of the traffic, they share the trail with other people on wheels, as well as pedestrians and joggers. In some places, because of the high use, we have divided our trails into separate all-heels and all-wheels paths. The I-90 trail was built as part of the Interstate 90 freeway project. In the late 1960s, bicyclists began lobbying to get bicycle facilities included in this project. This trail provides a vital link across Lake Washington to Eastside communities. It is the only way for bicyclists to ride across the lake. Without this link, they would have to ride 25 miles around the lake. One section of the I-90 trail tunnels through a hillside, allowing bicyclists to avoid a steep hill climb. The tunnel is monitored by video cameras and decorated with murals painted by local school children. The Duwamish Trail is the major trail connection through the south end of Seattle. This trail follows the Duwamish River. It is largely because of the efforts of a citizen group called Friends of the Duwamish that we have this trail.
Thank you.
This group was concerned with providing public access to the river and enhancing neglected portions of the waterway. They brought their concerns to the city's attention. 17 sources of funding were used to build the Duwamish Trail. A major portion of the trail was built as restoration for a pipeline project. These 3 trails, the Burke-Gilman, the I-90, and the Duwamish, are the main arteries of our urban trail system. But even with an extensive trail system,
So, I don't know if anyone remembers biking up Dexter before they redesigned it and gave much wider bike lanes. But this is what it was like all the way up until about 2011, I think, is when they redid the road. Uh, so that was an old bike lane, and it felt like an old bike lane.
most bicycling takes place on city streets. In order to meet the needs of all bicyclists, we are working to improve the existing street network to provide better and safer bike access.
So that's Alki, which was a parking protected bike lane all the way back in the early 1970s, and it has been ever since. So we were pretty far ahead of the game on the parking protected bike lane, which was not a term that they used at the time, but there you go. Look at it.
The Bicycle Spot Safety Improvement Program is an innovative attempt to remove barriers to bicycling from the existing street system. The program makes about 100 low-cost, small-scale improvements each year. Seattle's bike spot improvements usually cost less than $10,000. Many cost less than $100.
Less than $100.
Typical bike spot improvements include signing bike routes, installing bicycle parking racks, installing warning signs, routine maintenance like pothole filling and street sweeping, adjusting loop detectors to pick up bicycle traffic, building traffic islands at major street crossings, installing bicycle safe drain grates, installing rubberized railroad crossings, and striping bike lanes. Most bike spot improvements are the result of citizen requests. Bicyclists can fill out a request card with the location and description of a problem and then mail it back to us. The bike spot improvement cards are distributed to local bike shops and bike clubs. The bike program also works to improve bicycle access and safety on Seattle's 150 bridges. Because in Seattle, if you can't get across the bridges, nothing else matters. But most important, these improvements help make our streets and structures safer for everyone using them. The success of the Seattle program can be traced to three key ingredients: citizen participation, training for engineers, planners, and policymakers, and a full-time bicycle coordinator position.
Just one bicycle coordinator.
Key ingredient number one is citizen participation. Without the tireless efforts of concerned citizens, little of the Seattle Bicycle Network would exist. Nearly every bicycle or pedestrian path in Seattle has come at the request of our citizens. And not just cyclists either. Other organizations like Open Space, environmental, and neighborhood groups have become involved in and supported the urban trail system. We have learned that a bicycle advisory board is a very important part of citizen participation. The Seattle Bicycle Advisory Board was created by City Council resolution and advises all city departments on issues regarding bicycling. Each member is expected to follow 1 or 2 projects from preliminary planning through construction. Board members attend public meetings, meet with project managers, and serve on other committees. Bicycle concerns are also a priority for the Cascade Bicycle Club. This organization works with other clubs, neighborhood groups, and businesses to promote bicycling. With more than 4,000 members, this club helps campaign for an open space bond issue, which is now supplying $6 million for the development of trails in the city. The second key ingredient is bicycle training for engineers, planners, and policymakers. Since these professionals are involved with projects that affect bicycling on a day-to-day basis, it is critical that they have the necessary training and information. There are a number of organizations that teach bicycle-related courses. Seattle has contracted with these groups to educate our planners on bicycle facility design, bicycle liability, rail-to-trail conversions, and bicycle law enforcement. The city has adopted the American Association of State Highway and Transportation Officials Guidelines for the Development of New Bicycle Facilities as a guide for designing both our on-street and off-street bicycle facilities. Last but not least in our list of key ingredients is the need for a full-time bicycle coordinator position. A bicycle coordinator should work to institutionalize bicycling by integrating bicycles into city transportation, parks, and open space plans. The bicycle coordinator serves as a member of the design team for bicycle facilities like bridges and major roadways that need to accommodate bicyclists. Seattle has placed its bicycle coordinator position in the engineering department, where decisions regarding construction and transportation are made. Seattle has found that bicyclists can go just about anywhere, are economical and non-polluting, use little space, and are convenient for trips under 5 miles. We have also found that people will ride bicycles if given places to ride. This means making all streets and bridges bicycle-friendly and providing a comprehensive trail system. These improvements didn't happen by accident in Seattle. They happened because citizens organized and got involved. Training was provided for planners, engineers, and other policymakers, and Seattle has a full-time bicycle coordinator to implement projects.
Okay. We'll let the music play out. This should be a tip for any government agency that's trying to sell an idea to the public. Like, do not underestimate the power of a sick baseline to help you make your point. People just love a sick baseline. Just love them, love it, love it. Helps. It's going to help sell anything you're trying to sell. Urban Consortium. All right. So there you have it. What did we learn in the course of the making of this video? What did we learn? I think it's interesting to think back to a time when, even for as little as Seattle had done for bicycling at that point, that there were places all over the country asking, like, whoa, how did you do all this bicycle stuff? Seattle really was a big leader in bicycling in the country. And, to some extent, it has sort of always stayed towards the forefront of, trying new things and trying out new policies or type of facilities or whatever. But, we've also come a long way from that as a country, I guess. That, people still do come to Seattle to ask, how did you do this or that? But, no one's coming to Seattle and saying, like, whoa, how do you do bicycling? Well, I don't know, maybe they do a little bit. But yeah, the city was clearly proud of what it had accomplished. It's hard to overstate the importance of the Burke-Gilman Trail. Those videos were obviously those shots were very selective. Perhaps many of them from events, for example. I also really like all the shots of the old downtown with so few buildings. It's almost unrecognizable, just compared to 1993. I feel inspired to go dig out an old camcorder and maybe fire up a copy of, I don't know, Adobe Premiere 1.0 or something, and just go ham with the B-roll. Maybe that's what Seattle Bike Blog TV has been missing this whole time is sweet VHS style B-roll with early 90s graphics, and Seattle Bike Blog TV is definitely lacking on the sick baselines. So I'll have to work on that. Maybe I'll come up with a good baseline for this video. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much for watching that video with me. I know this is kind of a silly react video, but yeah, it's just a neat to look back at where the city's come from, especially this time where we just are making policy changes. We're undoing policy changes that we made in 1993, with the helmet law repeal. And it's good to go back and look at, what was the mindset, what was happening in the city, what was the scale of what bicycling could accomplish, and what the city thought the bicycle program could accomplish at the time. And you can see, like, they're talking about, oh yeah, we do we go out and we do tons of fixes, though, you know, a lot of them cost less than $100. And like on one hand, well, if you can do some, you know, if you can make a fix that costs less than $100 that actually, you know, helps at least a little bit, then they should do that. That's great. But also, it gives you an idea of the scale that the city thought that they could work in to make bicycling safer. You know, maybe a couple bike lanes along these like very, you know, high travel paths like Dexter. Um, you know, that was probably the extent of the on-street stuff. And then other than that, it's like make the crossings safer and put up some signs and some bike parking. Uh, you know, so when you have that as the scale of the changes that people think are possible, you can kind of understand why, you know, people would be looking for other ways to improve bicyclist safety. You know, the idea of having, you know, a significant bike budget and a significant amount of money dedicated to making significant road changes, even at the expense of car travel, you know, may have seemed impossible at the time, and you know, too much work. Sometimes today, even after all we've done since then, it sometimes still feels like too much work and almost impossible. So you can definitely understand why someone in 1993 would feel that way. And if you know, if you didn't want to wait around for things to get safer, you want to take action now. You know, a helmet law. You know, it's totally logical to see why that would have been seemed like something that could have an impact today. You know, just immediately get to work helping to keep people safe. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to click subscribe if you want to get more videos like this. And yeah, I'll talk to you all later.